right, I don't know if I'm actually broadcasting here at the moment, but trying not to be angry. uh, I was talking about adding gold and was showing off the fact that on Friday, my Friday morning demo yesterday after I signed off, I actually was like, oh, gold. I want gold. So I went in and I threw some down. So I'm going to do that here today now. And add it to my layers. Looks like people are joining me again. Sorry about that. I don't know. Facebook doesn't like me talking for more than half an hour. Which, you know, I don't know. I don't really understand. Yeah, I think it kicks me off after half an hour. I don't understand why. Maybe it's because it's just me and I'm talking to myself and it doesn't realize that I'm talking to an audience, which is really weird. Anyway, here's one way that I like to add gold. This is just gold liquid pearls, which is a dimensional glue paint. And I like to just kind of drag it on. And one other thing I like about it is that it is what it is, which means you get what you get with this. So if I were to just leave it right there where I drew it on, then it would stay that color and it would stay that shape. So when I, smear it on like this, it's going to stay this bright, bright, bright gold. Now, normally you don't use it in vast quantities, which is why the nozzle's so small. You're usually using it to highlight or even write with it, which is something I haven't done that in a while. And then right here. Now it's going to dry. And another thing about using it, I usually use it as a detail at the end. But hey, Melissa, thank you. Because it actually doesn't respond well to the heat gun. So, this writing is not going to stay writing because I'm going to be layering on it so I'm not finished. So what I'll do is come back and establish some writing on top at the end. My hands are getting a little goofy today. So let's see. Hopefully Kendall will find it again. So helpful. So this is that burlap. You can see it soaks right through and makes everything soggy. Sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go and pre-prime all the burlap pages that are in here because I just don't like working on them. Because they just get so wet. It's not I like the texture behind it, but it's also doing that warpy thing, which kills me. So there are very few things that bug me when I do mixed media. Getting random hairs, like my hair or breast hairs, and my work, and my paper warping like this underneath. So I'm just going to layer up because I want to cover that up. And I want to get to a point where the burlap is not interacting with burlap anymore. Now that gold is going to be underneath some multimedia layers. And then you know what I'm going to do? Just because I don't use gesso that often anymore because I like my layers to be thicker. But I'm going to gesso this. These parts that are still blank. Now, gesso is a great medium. It seals, and you can paint with it, and it's a primer. It's an art primer, basically. It's probably the same stuff you get when you buy a pot of primer at Home Depot or Lowe's, but of course they call it gesso and charge you 14 times as much. But it will seal my page, and that way it will make it a little more workable. And it's also really easy to dry. It dries pretty quickly and pretty instant. And there's some again. The camera. Okay. I'm gonna throw down a little oxide. This is the oxide spray. This is the one that's opaque, and I think you can really see it with this little application. You can really see how the opacity is. Versus, here's the dye ink, and then you're gonna see how that dye ink is gonna interact. See the difference? So, oh, that's pretty similar. Kendall, it's good match. Actually, you know, I'm not even sure where I got that other stencil. So you see how the dye ink interacts and shows the color underneath it. Look how it's interacting with that gold blush. So the stress oxide would exactly like the Dina Wakley acrylics do, which is a little obscure. Which, you know, sometimes you want. Sometimes you want a nice gray color down. There's that. But I love this interaction when you get, you know, when you flood a piece and it finds those nooks and crannies to intensify them and bring out the texture. A little bit. Just more here, get this a little more intense. Do that thing where I get color everywhere. Now this would be, you know, this ending up very Christmassy. So, you know, if you're looking for a quick way to make a lot of Christmas cards at once, if you did this on a nice big piece of watercolor paper, you could then cut it up and use them as backgrounds for your cards. I have lots of people who would take my ATC classes and then use their ATCs as focal points on their greeting cards later. I thought that was a nice, if you're not going to trade them or save them, that was a nice use. Nothing else. Now this is coming out. Just this down here. Put some color down. You can see that obscuriness happening. Move around a little bit with the water, but again, pigment is opaque, dye is transparent. So I really prefer the dye look. I'm going to go back to that red, that candy apple red, and squidge it down here and just get this corner a little more in shape. There's nothing really going on down here. So I'm just dragging that extra across the texture on the other side. I can go here, highlight some of that stuff. Actually, I love that. Mix that up, pull it across. And then, what it also does is unify the piece because it spreads the red out a little more. Get a little more of it. I'm going to dry this, and then this is now nice and layered up with acrylic. So I'm going to add some texture down here. Right. So it's interesting to know, I can't tell from my page how long this video is. So, if it's going to bump me off for half an hour, I gotta be a little aware of that. I might do 2 more layers and then so it's picked up a little bit of the red paint there because it wasn't really dry. I'm always torn about whether or not to try and answer the phone because 90% of my calls are junk calls. But then I get that one call that's actually a customer and I miss it. So if I weren't hanging out with you guys, I would want to get it. I'm getting it. Thanks, Kendall. 17 minutes. Okay. So I'm going to highlight some of this texture up here. Pull that out a little bit. Pour some gold in, maybe. So the distress inks and you know, the ink pads, they will stay, they'll be permanent as long as you don't add water to them. So it's just not dry enough. So you know what? I might just leave this at this point and come back to it and next week and finish it up, because this has definitely got more to offer. But in terms of color, like, I don't know if you can see this, it's actually, the paint's sort of crumbling a little because it's still wet. And I didn't, I tried to rub something on it and it sort of rubbed it off, like rubbing off the upper hand. So, so that's not what I want. So I think I'm going to call it for today. And I'm going to revisit this even as I speak. I'm going to throw some gold down. I'm going to revisit this next week on Friday. I'll come back to this spread. So if you join me Friday, you can come and see what I do with it next and where I take it once it's dry. And if you like the color, the kit's online. If you like the products, I have lots of other colors in these products. And, I have lots of starter kits. So if you're like, that looks so fun, there's on my craftinessonline.com. You go check that out. You can also see a little more about the store. I do have a physical store, if you're not aware of that. And in non-COVID times, I have classes and meetups and things that I do, almost daily offerings. So anyway, thank you for joining me. Hold on, I can do this again. Got click, 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 click through. Now you can see guys standing. I'm more of a standing crafter usually. So thanks for joining me today, and I hope that you stay well and stay safe and craft on. Talk to you later. Bye.